Okay, welcome everybody to Jenna's house here in wonderful Johnson, Vermont. We're going to take you on a little tour of the old Catholic church, Jenna's house, we call it now. We still call it a church once in a while, but we're trying to get used to it. But first, I've got to let Amy talk about the coffee shop.
Right now, we are near the end of our environmental review. All the historic stuff has been submitted, it is being reviewed, and we are just waiting for Elizabeth Peebles to sign off. As soon as she signs off, we will get the green light for the 30-day waiting period. Once that waiting period is done, we will be able to start the bidding process and move forward. Seth Jensen is working on all of the prereqs that kind of need to be handed in ahead of time. I believe he's been working with Brian to get some of that paperwork going as well. That all has to be done before November 1st, and he's pretty well on it already, so not too much left there. We did get the green light to start the roof of the coffee house because it is leaking and they don't want more damage to the house, so the community block grant did say that we were allowed to go in and repair the roof and make it so it no longer caused damage to the building. So that should be starting in about 2 weeks. Yep. So, and they're good with that. They're excited that that's going. There is a second recovery grant that is going to be for the upstairs for the sober living. That is looking like it's going to be announced for April of next year. Originally, they were trying to get it for November, but it's been delayed just because HUD hasn't given all of the guidelines yet. So now they're going to put it to their April meeting. And it's a very similar process as a community block grant, a lot of the same type of paperwork, same questions, probably a similar review. And that we will be going for 200 to 300,000 probably, but by then we should have a good idea of what everything's costing us because we will have already started the coffee house. So we'll be able to be pretty precise with that, a lot more precise than, what this first one was. So we'll be demoing as soon as we are up with our 30 days. We are allowed to demo the back part of the building. There does not need to be a bid for that because it is an in-kind contribution from GW Tatro. So that will start immediately, and then the bidding process will go on while we do that. Any questions?
Just be clear, so upstairs is going to be sober living as well as the back of the other house behind the coffee shop that you bought? Okay.
Yep, so the back house is more of a stage 1 type sober living, so it's a little bit more strict like your traditional sober living, whereas the second over the coffee house is going to be a little bit more the next step into going back out and having your own apartment and having a job. You'll have to pay more rent, you'll have to have a job. And you'll have a little bit more flexibility to start making your own decisions and taking those steps and living back in the world without that same support.
They've already been through a full recovery, so they're in a transition period. They don't need all the structure that the other house will have.
I see. Okay. And is the hope that I guess maybe the people living above will work in the coffee house? Is that sort of
if they want to, that will be an option. They don't have to because not everybody's going to want to do that type of service. But the coffee house offers a lot of different things besides for roasting and the coffee. There's also accounting and managing and things like that. Then we also have a relationship with Smugs so if they wanted to try something different, Smugs, I believe, said they would come and pick them up and help transport them back and forth. So the idea is that that's an option for them as well as for the people who are in the back house. If they're a little bit further along and they're ready to take that step, this is an option for them, but it's not the only option. They're not required in any way. So
okay, thank you.
Welcome.
The goal is that they will have to have.
Yes.
Right.
And I think that's pretty much it on that building there.
On the community block grant and that building. Yep.
You'll have your own brand of coffee.
You'll be able to walk right in and see the roasting happen right before your eyes.
And yes, and you'll probably get some free samples too.
Well, for the good of the community, we're gonna have to check it out.
Hopefully the town will smell amazing.
2 free samples.
I guess the one thing on the roof that we can get started is we are going to keep it a slate roof. We're pretty sure. we've had it would actually be more feasible if we tore the roof off and put on a shingle roof that looks like a slate roof. But the historical, was it State of Vermont Historical Grant or whatever?
The Historical Society.
Society.
It would take longer to get the roof finished because they'd need to do more approvals and making sure that because the whole idea is that the outside stays looking historic in every way, and that if you change one thing, it has to go back exactly as it is. So if you took the slate roof off, you have to put slate back on or something that looks almost exactly the same. We originally were told that we couldn't do anything but slate, but then when we found this other shingle, he was going to look into it, but then because we have so much water leaking, we're kind of leaning towards just getting the roof fixed.
Yeah, I think slate fits the building better, and it will last a long time. What I found out was why the slate goes bad is because of the nails. It's not the slate, it's the nails that hold the slate. So they rust, and now they use aluminum nails, but so we're taking a little risk there, but we'll see how it goes out. So I think that's it for the Barrows building in downtown. I know the town's excited to have a coffee shop, and we are excited as well. So, but it's going to be a little while yet.
I'm hoping that if we continue on this path where we can get our 30 days started, hopefully this week, that we could get started with construction by mid-November before Thanksgiving, and that if all is lucky, we'll be having an opening, probably a soft opening by summer of next year, and a really nice big opening by the fall, which hopefully will work out with coronavirus. So.
Right. Yeah, okay, I think we're good on that building. So we can talk about the Jenna's house here. And Barry's going to help us with the audio visual input that's going to happen on this main floor.
So imagine, if you will, what we want to do is make this into a business center to rent out for businesses that might want to do their quarterly meetings, annual meetings. We might want to do weddings. We were thinking maybe we'd be the first to do or host a sober wedding in the state. But we also want it for the community to use as they see fit. I know, Kyle, we had talked about maybe you hosting some sort of art, what would you phrase it as? Art showing? Art, community art show with pictures around the perimeter. So we'll have the sound and the ability to project to a monstrous size screen the size of the stage, with a long throw projector being up there on the balcony. We'll have communications, internet access. We'll be able to have movie nights here, slumber parties, if you will, all right? It's really open to your imagination. We'll have wireless microphones so that you can roam around. Well, it's pretty much going to be state of the art, especially for Johnson, okay? So before we move on to the next topic, any questions about just that piece of it? Musical events too, for instance. Anybody have any wish lists about the audio visual? No? All right. Greg?
Yep, so this was a USDA grant that's going to help us with this project, and I think it was, what, $250,000, I believe.
That was the amount that they're going to give us, and then we have to give it about a little over 100,000 of our money that has to be used, and then they'll give us the 250.
Yeah, the match is about 113, but Daniel's helping us with that some with his project, so we're going to be okay. We're going to be okay no matter what happens anyway. So a little history here. Jenna's life insurance bought this church, so when we call it Jenna's house, it is her house. So downstairs, we've got some stuff coming up. Here in this building, We put in new flooring. That was money we raised, and we we put some of our own in, and so we raised some money. The handicap accessible bathrooms are coming. They're not quite done yet, but before we have any big things here, it will be done and open. So that'll give people for one reason or another, they should be comfortable coming here, and that's exactly what we want. That grant also will have a lift that's going to go in this corner, so that folks can go downstairs and upstairs if you need assistance. So it'll be totally handicap accessible, and we're very proud of that, actually, because we want everybody to come here, no matter who they are or where they came from. We want them to come and enjoy this space too. I'm going to let Daniel Franklin from the Recovery Center in Morrisville. We've been working with their group quite a bit, and we've partnered on some different things, and we've been working together a lot. And Daniel's been there 3 years now, Daniel. And this guy knows recovery as well as anybody that I've ever met. So he's a huge asset to what we're doing. We own the building, and we can help with a lot of things, but without his knowledge, it would be a pretty tough road for us. So we're very thankful he's on board with us.
Greg. So as Greg was saying, downstairs, we're going to be building a recovery center satellite facility. So even a couple of years ago, the Recovery Center was looking at expanding. In 2018, we served 6,328 people in the third most rural county in the state of Vermont. Last year, we served 8,031 people. Our staff has quadrupled in 2 years, so we needed more space anyway. And then this came about, and it was a match made in heaven. And so downstairs, we're going to be building a recovery center satellite facility. It'll, of course, right up here already, we're hosting some of our bigger meetings, 25 to 30 people twice a week, and they're able to spread out and social distance. That right over there is a swing set that's going to go outside. It's going to be a beautiful piece for children. We're going to build a playground out there in that back corner. And then downstairs, the USDA grant will also renovate the kitchen and make that a very well-equipped kitchen where we'll be doing nutritional classes and making food. We do provide food to quite a lot of people. During the COVID period, we've been feeding about 35 to 40 people every week, keeping them going through their recovery and through their challenges. And then in the rest of it, right now, we're currently building a fitness center down there to improve access to health and wellness opportunities for all people. By this Wednesday, we will have acquired all of the items for that, and eventually, it's just about putting up walls and really building the enclosure, raising the ceiling, putting in new ceilings. There will be we're going to be launching a program called the Moms in Recovery Support Program down there. So that'll have a home, building a play area and office spaces. There will be other meeting spaces that can kind of be configured around so that you can have various size groups, office spaces, really a variety of different utility for that space down there. And that more than doubles our capacity to continue to deliver recovery coaching support groups, both 12-step and non-12-step support groups, and just a variety of other programs and services to support people. The fitness center is just one piece of the health and wellness program. We're going to be offering here in this space and down there and outside a variety of health and wellness opportunities. There will be bicycles that will be used for transportation between here and the downtown. There will be trails being built. There will be, lawn games and things of that nature. And we'll be offering things like self-defense classes and really yoga, AccuDetox, Reiki. We already do offer some of those things, but on a more limited basis. So we should be able to offer a really amazing holistic set of opportunities for people to pursue their recovery and sustain it. So, any questions about that? That's a lot. Yes. Yes, and many supports for families, really a variety. Improving, right now we have Families Anonymous and Al-Anon and Adult Children of Alcoholics and a few other family supports when we have family coaches. But we intend to add on to that dramatically because this is a family, it's a family thing, and we do serve a lot of families, but Greg and Don and the rest of the team have really brought a whole lot of people to us to and to sort of out of the shadows to get help and to seek services and look after themselves, and that's been incredible. So I have a feeling there's a lot more families out there that we can help, both the individual that has the substance use disorder and any members of their families. We help everybody affected by addiction. So it could be a roommate, it could be a spouse, it could be a parent, it could be a child, it could be really anybody. So. Yeah, please.
So, just so I understand better the relationship, so will the recovery center sort of be in charge of the downstairs part of this, or are you renting something? Like, how does that?
Yeah, so we're occupying the downstairs space and utilizing some of the other space around whatever else happens to be going here. You know, sometimes this upstairs will be rented and we wouldn't be using it during that because of what we are and the anonymity factor and the confidentiality, you know, HIPAA compliance and all of that. It will be a sequestered space. I mean, it's controlled access. The elevator will come in right outside of the main entrance, and it will be, you know, staffed and you know, safe and you know, we'll greet people. But because of what we do, it is, you know, it has to be its separate space. That's I mean, we're a drop-in center, so anybody's welcome, community partners, whatever, but it's just, you know, that we have our own sort of guidelines that we have to abide by in order to protect everybody who goes in there and kind of monitor record, you know, we'll have safe record keeping and all of that stuff. So, yeah. So it's, you know, they've been, Don and Greg and the family have been really incredible to offer us that space down there. And, you know, through various, through our fundraising, through other fundraising events that we can do together and grants and things of that nature, we plan to, you know, be able to fund this whole operation and sustain it long term. So thank you. Any other questions?
Quiet group.
All the various grants that have come in, the fundraising that you have done, do you have just a ballpark number of how much money is being put into this community?
I think Daniel downstairs, you're what, 150 or 200 in there?
Yeah, it's almost 200.
Couple hundred in the downstairs from the recovery center. We got USDA grant was 250 here. JENNA'S life insurance was pretty close to 300. So
that 113 we're going to kick in from
right.
this portion.
Yeah. I mean, we got to be, plus Don and I have committed $1 million of our own money. So we must be getting close to a couple $1 million coming into Johnson, I
Do you
think.
need just JENNA'S house or do you need?
Yeah.
Including the coffee shop?
Yeah.
Oh, so that.
Yeah, it'll be at least, I think by the time we're done, we'll be pushing a couple million. Yeah. And, you know, we keep applying for grants. We keep working it. We have had a lot of donations. We had one donor write us a check for $100,000. So that was a big surprise because he said, I'm going to send you a check and Barry was waiting. He's like, I don't know how much this check's going to be, and I don't want to disclose it.
Maybe 500 or 1,000, you know.
Yeah. So they don't want any fame or any name or nothing. So we can't tell you who it is, but very generous business owner in the state of Vermont. So that helped quite a bit.
Yeah, and then the Polar Splash and even the October thing we did here, which was the rummage sale. I mean, we brought in probably close to 300,000 in donations
Right.
alone, just people giving money to us from their hearts, you know, and wanting us to make sure it goes to good use. And so we're very proud that the money is being spent wisely and it's going to a good cause. And we're not spending it on, you know, sometimes you hear about stories, right? People spending money unwisely on stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's probably when we're at full capacity, we'll probably have about a $300,000 operating budget here on this site, and employ at least three or four people, plus all the people that would be employed at the coffee shop, at the Barrows building, and Smuggler's Notch and stuff. So our relationships will just continue to foster more people returning to the workforce. We're going to have everything from job coaching to really extensive opportunities that will not only bring, hard money to the community in the way of grants and investment in infrastructure, but also long-term returns, consistent returns in the way of tax funds and, and people kind of being able to be contributing members of society as opposed to, going to the hospital with injuries and things of that nature, law enforcement costs, things like that. So it's really, the potential there is pretty incredible, but certainly many millions.
And we're going to attract people by doing keynote speakers, political rallies of all sorts, because we'll have the capability to do that here. And those people will be driving to Johnson from wherever, and then maybe they'll go down to the cafe or go down to your store and purchase things while they're here. So I see that as being good business for everybody involved in the community.
Daniel, can you disclose the lady that's going to run the Mothers Program now?
Yeah. So we just hired our Moms in Recovery Support Program. So she's from here in Johnson. Crystal Morrissey is going to oversee that. She's from here, but moved back to the community to do this. And really excited to be working with pregnant and parenting women and their families, which we think there will be a lot of really exciting partnerships that are happening right now with places like the Family Center and the Restorative Center and so forth, to be able to offer a comprehensive suite of services to help these families who have been underserved. And then Lauren Payne is going to oversee the health and wellness program. So
She's from Morrisville.
Yep, from Morrisville.
I know Lauren's been in recovery for 3.5 years now, I think. She goes to CrossFit 5 times a week, and she helped us up here at the field days this weekend. And I'm very polite to her because I think she could probably take me out if she wanted to. But this woman is really special. But I haven't met Crystal yet, but I'm really excited to. Well, I guess we did meet short for a second, but not much. I guess that kind of covers the church, unless Jenna's house, unless you've got any more questions.
I just had one more question. About just the funding and just keeping that rolling in, which sounds like it's been awesome, great, and so is the plan to keep funds for operating the space in the cafe, like what you've already been doing, just apply for grants and donate, have a donation aspect to it, and then I suppose you would make a little bit of money from some of the programming and obviously selling coffee and stuff. So is that
A lot of money making coffee.
okay?
Yeah, we hope that
We hope that pays for everything.
we hope that some of our donors will donate every year. I mean, I don't know if our main donor will do the same thing as he did last year, but if he does, that's great. But we kind of feel like this building can support itself. The programs, that's kind of Daniel's going to have to keep pushing the grants and keeping that going. The coffee shop, we think that building should be able to sustain itself with the business. And the people that are upstairs will pay a small rent. It won't be a big rent, but I think the numbers we have roughly say that it'll support itself. And then we'll keep pushing. I mean, Don and I are committed to this project, so it's not going to fail.
It would be really nice if the businesses could support it, so we don't have to depend on government grants all the time.
And it's a proven model.
Yeah.
We believe, like, as successful as we've been, thinking long term, like, we believe in social enterprise. I have experience with businesses funding nonprofits, and it's kind of it's a beautiful thing when you can both employ people and have a business and fill a need in the community, and also have it fund the nonprofit. So, this coffee brand and potentially getting into, making and selling in stores. It's kind of like the Newman's Own model. People will go, and if you see two things on the shelf, and one is donating all proceeds to the charity versus another that's only a little less expensive, but the profits are going, you don't even know where. You're going to spend a little bit extra to get that brand that's funding something great.
Plus, it's going to taste better.
Crafted with love. So it's just, I personally have a lot of excitement about, the possibility of that being a major revenue stream, and doing a lot of good in the community at the same time. So.
And we think businesses will come here and use this. This is going to be really a state-of-the-art floor when we're done. And we've already had some people say that, yeah, we would have our meetings here. So we haven't put a number on what that's worth, or we're just going to get a donation. Well, we don't know quite yet, but we think it's going to bring people into our town. I do know that. Yeah. And, there'll be days where there's a lot of people in our town. And so we'll keep working at it. A little bit about the work Don's been doing here, and Barry. We knew it would be a year or so before we could open up much here and help people. So we established a financial assistance program for people coming out of recovery or inpatient, like Valley Vista, and also incarceration. Don just got a call the other day of a person that has no place to go. By the time they get into inpatient, some of these people have nothing left but the shirt on their back. And it's really, I don't know how Barry and Don deal with this.
And you're helping too. I mean, we have the story of one person who was in the Newport prison. He was getting out today, had no ride. Greg drove down there, picked him up. Drove him here, we had no clothes. I went and scrounged up a bag of clothes out of my house, gave him a bag of clothes,
Yeah.
and then you drove him into Essex
yeah.
to the sober home.
And then we got him a job in working for Sweeney and Belial, so he's doing really good. And I actually talked to the owner a couple days ago, and I said, how's our friend doing? And he said, oh my God, he's great. So, these guys that struggle, if you can just give them a chance, just give them some hope. Not all are going to be successful, but if you can just give them some hope, they can succeed. They just need a little support. But so we've been very proud of that. We've helped, must be pushing 60 people now, I guess. And the ADAP program in Burlington, when we showed them what we were doing, they actually made a grant to help these people, and some of it went through Jenna's Promise to help people too. And they just re-upped October 1st for the next year coming. So, and another program we're doing through VTAR, which is Vermont Housing, Recovery Housing or something like that. They named a grant after Jenna, and that's basically to help the same kind of people, and that grant's for $100,000. So through
what would happen is they get out of Valley Vista prison, have no place to go. So what would they go? They go back to their place of wherever they were living and almost immediately relapse, cause communities all sorts of havoc, end up going back into Valley Vista at some point to recover again costing everybody money, all because they didn't have a place to go after they went through rehab. They were detoxed at one point, but had no place to go.
Yeah, and I think
so simple, right? Give them a place to go.
Yeah, it's very important. That safety and a warm bed in a place they know. You should hear the panic in these voices when they call. Just as soon as you tell them that, yeah, Barry does it all. He's like, why don't you explain the process, Barry?
Well, I was just going to use another example. We got a donation from somebody the other day, and I looked at the name. I go, that was the lady we helped. She paid back all the rent we gave her by donating the exact amount to JENNA'S Promise. I mean, that's how grateful they are after just being given a chance. And when they come out and they become 3 and 6 months sober, they're changed. They're the most grateful, loving people you could ever want to know at that point. So,
but your process is they call you.
The process is I get a call, usually from people in Valley Vista or sometimes in the prison system, and they're about to get out. And they've called around and they've been accepted at some sober home in Vermont. There are plenty, all right? And they have no money, all right? And so I go through a brief interview. I ask them, are you from Vermont? Yes. Okay. Can you work? Yes. Okay. And then pretty much at that point, are you in for substance use disorder? All right. Because some people are just alcoholics, and that's not part of our mission right now. All right. We are helping people with substance use disorder. All right. So if check to the Vermonter and check their substance use, I say, okay, we're helping you. It's as simple as that. There's no other questions. All right, and then it's when are you moving in? Because see, the sober homes have already done the screening at this point. If they went through the screening and they accepted somebody, that's good enough for us. All right, they just need financial help, and we don't pay them directly. We pay the sober home. I call the sober home. I see you've accepted this person. How much is rent? Fine, we're paying it. And they don't argue with me about that. You're paying the rent? They're thrilled. So, and then they have to check in with me once a week. And I pretty much at that point just make sure they're happy with the house, make sure they're following the rules, and make sure they're looking for work. And then I also work on budget issues for them, because I want them to be convinced that even taking a minimum wage job, they can be self-sustaining all by themselves. Because rent's only $140 a week at these houses, typically. And they don't have any other expenses. So they can make it by taking any job. All right? And I show that on paper to them, and then they're going, oh, I didn't know that. And that makes them feel good that they can get a job and pay all their bills and be self-sustainable, and just to take that worry off them helps them through their recovery process. All right, it really helps them.
I think that's good. One lady that Dawn and Daniel pulled out of a drug house right here in Johnson sent they pulled her out on a Sunday. We saw her walking on the street, and it was one of Jenna's friends, and we knew she was struggling. So Dawn went down and pulled her in the car and couldn't quite convince her that day. So that was Saturday. So she called Daniel. Daniel and Dawn went, knocked on the door of the drug house and said, "Young lady, you're coming with us." And they got her into rehab and then into sober living. And the great part of this story is we got a testimonial about a year ago from her, and or a month or so ago. And she said, 1 year ago, my jaw was broken because my drug dealer hit me because I couldn't pay him. I was homeless. I lost my child. Today, I'm making $22 an hour. I just put a deposit on my first apartment, and I have my daughter back. Yeah. So this does work, and this is what drives us. And we've got other stories too, but Dawn and Barry man that up. I just kind of give a ride every now and again. That's all. But so Dawn can speak more to the back of what's going on in back of the coffee shop. And one thing about Dawn is she's taken the time she's a certified recovery coach now. So she gets calls all the time to help people. And she was a part of pioneering the family coaching program. So I know she worked with the folks that set that up. So we're very proud of the work that she's done for our recovery for us, but also for all the other people.
So a little bit about the recovery house behind the coffee shop. It's going to have 6 women, and in there will be right now we're in the process of hiring our RN actually, who's going to live there with them, and she will be with them every day and make sure that they learn to heal and to get back into society. And she will take them to meetings and to the doctors and make sure they get to a lot of these life skill programs that Daniel's going to have. And also just nurture them back into society, because some of these women are going to be pretty damaged and addicted. And then hopefully we get them a job and get them working in the coffee shop and back out into society, because we want to support them with all the programs here. The girl that's running it she's just so committed. She's in recovery herself, but she's an RN, and she just wants to come and save lives, because she said she shouldn't be here. She shouldn't be alive, and she wants to give back. So she's really excited about it. The only other thing I have is that we've been working with Johnson State, which is and I know it's a big concern of everybody's, and it's a big concern of ours, losing our college. So we've been working with them about doing internships here. We've been meeting with their graduating class and with the counselors up there. I've also put them in touch with Betty Ford Dean, helping them to reconstruct and make some really unique classes that would be a draw. So their program, I think, is going to be really different than anything else, and people are going to come here because of it. It's not just going to be a counseling program, but it's going to come with an internship and hands-on, and it helps us, it helps them, and it certainly helps the community.
Then the other thing with that program is we have a Dr. Aaron Stewart is the federal prosecutor's office paid her to come up with this program for the girls in back of the coffee shop. This woman is incredible. She's strong. She works like a dog. I mean, a woman is unbelievable. And I don't know, she's head of psychiatry, I think, for UVM Medical Center in Plattsburgh, but She has a lot of letters beside of her name. I don't know what they all mean, but I tell you what, she is probably the most experienced woman or man or anything that I've ever met when it comes to recovery and helping people. She's incredible. So we're so lucky to have her coming to Johnson. I mean, it's going to make one heck of a difference having her on this program. And she's just a great person to work with. I know Dawn and Daniel have been doing some stuff with her. And we had the federal prosecutor's team has been up here fixing this building up. And if we do a tour of that tonight, you're just not going to believe what you see. But since they're on COVID working away, then Christina Nolan, the federal prosecutor, said, well, why don't you guys go work on this house? The courts, I guess, aren't open. I don't know why, whatever, but they're here working. And Amy Stearns, a local lady from Stowe, has been absolutely incredible. We're so lucky to have those folks. But they picked Jenna's Promise to work with them to do this program for these ladies. It's a little bit more than substance use disorder. So we're proud of it. As long as they give us the support we need, we will be successful. And I think this is a good time to mention, if anybody's watching this, if you guys have any suggestions, if you want to be a part of this, if you want to reach out to us, we welcome it from everybody. Kyle and I had a meeting the other day, and I want any of Kyle's friends or Nat's friends or Eric's friends, anybody here that wants to help us and has suggestions about certain things, our door is wide open. And we like to keep things positive. A lot of negativity could be a little tough maybe, but we want to hear what you have to say. And I know there's a lot of people in this town that know a lot about what we're doing. They're, you got Laraway down there. There's a lot of people there that deal with tough situations. So I know there's people here that can help us, and we welcome it. And I don't care if you vote for Bernie or you vote for Trump. We want you to come. So we had a good booth up there this weekend. Daniel was there, and we had harm reduction packages to give out to people that are actively using. And these packages are fentanyl test strips, Narcan. We actually have some here at the church. If you guys know anybody that is actively using and you want to keep them safe, we have these harm reduction packages right here. And I don't know how many, Daniel, there is available, but honestly, if you know somebody, send them our way, because this could save their life.
Yeah, so we have pretty much an unlimited supply of these. I have 590 of them right now. But they include everything from 3 doses of Narcan, so somebody can use it or give it away to others, because well over 50% of the time it's actually either a fellow user, a friend, or a family member who saves their life, not an EMT. Although we've got them out to all of the EMS providers as well. But besides that, there's a lot of other, and one of the things that the Vermont Department of Health did, right now, a lot of the, here in Johnson, we've lost people to drugs that are laced with fentanyl. These fentanyl test strips will tell you if one of the most common analogs of fentanyl, there are hundreds of them. Chemists make them abroad, and you can't detect all of them, but these are the main ones. This will tell you if they are, if it has fentanyl in it, and it does change people's behavior. Like, nobody wants to die. Nobody wants to take these drugs. They change their behavior. They'll either get a different supply or do something else that will save their life. But we It's got a lot of information about community resources, everything from behavioral health services to other things. Twin Craft Skincare donated soap, like just tons of different things for various people. We've been giving them out at hotels to folks who don't have homes and are living in hotels. And, you know, where there's life, there's hope. So we just are trying to get this out to save people's lives. And we know that since March 18th, actually since July 1st, because a bunch of them happened in early July, that we can attribute at least 8 people being alive today because of those packs. So I'm happy to get them out wherever we can. So anyway, thank you very much.
Yeah, it was a great thing up to the field days. We handed out some. We had people came over and asked us. They were friends of Jenna. They'd been sober. And I'd say, well, do you have friends that are still actively using? And some of them would say, yeah. So we loaded them up with these packs to take to them. And hopefully they'll use them, you know. And Daniel made some good connections there too. So, yeah. So, you know, it really is, we're helping people. We're proud to help people. It's our mission, Don and I know Barry's on board. And we just hope the community is understanding and supports what we're doing, because we should be proud of what we're doing. I know Don and I and Barry and Daniel are. So I think that's, not.
Yeah, just on that point, you've been really good at describing sort of the human impact of this, which is overwhelming and really most important probably. But as a select board, looking at it through that lens, and just looking at the costs of this opioid epidemic on us as a municipality, from law enforcement to ambulance, healthcare, to loss of business, to loss of real estate value. I mean, you look at just down the street here. It's really been very devastating to this community. So how people stand up and say, we're going to do something about this is pretty hugely important for this community. So, yeah.
Well, thank you, Nat. I think, as you may know, that we lost a girl on Railroad Street a week ago Saturday. And I'm pretty sure I know the parents. And I mean, it's here. And it's not just Johnson. Don't feel like we're in this thing alone. We're not. It's everywhere. But you know, if we all learn and we're aware of what's going on and we want to help, we will make a difference. I think we're making a difference. So, do you guys want to look at the house in back of the coffee shop, or you? So I guess here, Daniel, we're meeting with the architect Wednesday, I think. Yeah. So we'll have a little better design here, but I'm going to let you speak to it, Daniel.
Yeah, basically from where like Barry is and out to here and over is going to be the gym, and over there will be sort of weightlifting equipment, and then there will be a row of treadmills and ellipticals and things over on against that wall. And then sort of in here will be all your typical like home gym type stuff and non-electrified items. Sort of where this gentleman's standing is there's going to be a hallway that goes there, and then back in there is going to be offices for our operations manager and Lauren's office to oversee the gym and the health and wellness program. Over where Don is sort of where the reception area will be, where Brian and Greg are, and Nat, those two sort of areas will be office spaces, and hopefully we can put in a collapsible wall right here that can open it up so it can be a conference room or a bigger group space. And then the mom's program will be housed over here. So it'll be a play area and offices and stuff like that, but serving families in whatever way we can here on site and out in the community. A lot of it will be building relationships with places like the Department of Children and Families and Children's Integrated Services, the Family Center. So there'll be a lot of work out in the community as well by my team to provide wraparound services. But right here on site, we'll be able to do specialized groups and individual one-on-one services, childcare, all sorts of different types of services, and then there'll be some storage over there. But that's roughly what this is going to look like, and we'll be able to do a lot of different really powerful services here on site. So
This wall, I believe, comes out somewhere around here, right? So those would be
Yep.
bigger offices.
yep, so there'll be a hallway here and blow out 2 of these walls, and the mom's program will be back there, and it'll go over toward where Greg is, and then 2 separate entrances, one into the gym area and hallway, and then one into the mom's area. So
Then we got news from the fire marshal the other day that this has all got to come down, and then we got to put double 5/8 sheetrock up here. So it's a little more added expense, but it's going to be nice to have the higher ceilings, and it'll give us an opportunity to put in some good lighting and work around it. So, you know, it's not all just black and white when you're doing this stuff. You get curveballs thrown at you all the time, and I think we're prepared for it. I used to be able to hit a curveball in high school, so this is a little different. But so it's going to be pretty neat, and hopefully when it's all done, we'll have another one of these meetings, and you folks can come check it out. Onward to the sober house, I guess.